Mr. Atherton, IMSA has been dominating the good news department within the last week or so. Pretty awesome announcement about something you guys were working on for a while, and that was to secure your long-term TV deal. Tell us a little bit about how this came together with your final partner here, NBC Sports, coming up.
Right.
What fans might look for that's different, new,
Sure.
amplified, etc. in the future.
Well, you're exactly right that it's been a long time coming. Such a complex agreement and all of the moving parts that go along with something like that take a long time. A lot of lead time. We actually worked with a group, a consulting group, that's what they do is negotiate rights agreements for many different entities, but primarily sports organizations. Sports Media Advisors out of New York is who assisted us, and I think they did an excellent job. We had a lot of research and a lot of inquiry across a broad spectrum of broadcast media partners. Want to say right up front that the relationship we have had and do have with Fox is outstanding.
Absolutely.
It's one of those examples of don't fix it if it's not broken, but in this case we felt like we had a better way forward with the NBC Sports Group. And there's a deep-seated relationship there that precedes our relationship now. It goes back, frankly, to the American Le Mans Series era for some of us. NASCAR, of course, a long-standing partnership there. And at the highest levels of our organization, the Jim France level, at the senior-most executive levels of NBC, there's a lot of close connections. But as always, these agreements have to stand on their own. We're very proud of what IMSA has been able to do with the NBC Sports Group on our own merits. So even though for sure it's nice to have that NASCAR linkage, I think we're here because we represent good content as well.
So there's going to be more hours on network than IMSA has had, I believe, to date. NBC Sports team, with what they have between their sports properties, and even CNBC will be involved, but by and large, folks looking to catch IMSA next year are going to be looking at NBCSN as the primary home.
Correct.
We know that CNBC will be relatively low usage for the endurance races. Great news, I think, though, is live streaming of everything. When the
Correct.
green flag waves,
Yep.
you're going to get it uninterrupted. Would you say the extra network time plus that live streaming throughout really two of the big gains?
Very significant improvements over what we've had. And in our recent history, no two seasons have been alike in terms of how the broadcast scheduling has worked out. We have some firm commitments in place that will give us almost a 50% increase in the network coverage.
Wow.
And our goal and our expectation is we would have 3 races in 19 that would be NBC network programming. You're right that the core of our broadcast will be part of the NBC Sports Network. There will be some select hours that will potentially involve CNBC. The good news is both of those examples, both NBC Sports Network and CNBC, are very highly distributed. In other words, it's rare that you find someone that either cable, dish doesn't get them.
Yeah.
So that's also an improvement, whereas frankly, some of our broadcasts this year that have involved lesser distributed platforms, FS2 for instance, we've heard from our fans that don't have access to it, that doesn't work well for them for obvious reasons. You mentioned the authentication and the flag-to-flag coverage of all of our events, which will apply to NBC.com as well as to their NBC app. And because of NBC's involvement with the Olympics, the distribution and the consumption of their app is exceptional.
It's honestly one of the few that I use on a regular basis. So
many tens of millions of people are active users of the NBC app, which means TV anywhere. And in this example going forward, it'll be a one-time authentication. So even if we start on network and then go to NBC Sports Network, for instance, because of a full endurance race, you'll only need to authenticate one time and you're in. There'll be no re-authentication. It should be much easier. lot of expectation in terms of the production values. Sam Flood leads that charge for NBC. He's highly regarded, especially with his motorsports affinity. Look no further than what they've done with IndyCar to see, and NASCAR for that matter, but I think IndyCar is probably a closer matchup. And I think the opportunity there for all of us, NASCAR, IndyCar, and for sure IMSA, is the cross-promotion opportunity, the cross-pollination. We will be able to promote our broadcasts within those races and vice versa. So from a race fan perspective, this is lightning in a bottle.
Last question for you on this TV package. I've been busy doing other things, so I'm just getting into town. I haven't had a chance to speak with teams, manufacturers, and whatnot. This isn't meant to be a softball, but I'm hoping you have heard positive things from folks saying, hey, good job, this is what we were hoping for?
Across the board. We, as a matter of practice, we always try to enable our core stakeholders and as many people as is appropriate get in advance. So even if it's a couple of hours before the public release goes out, we try to make our folks aware. I made a handful, and others within our group made a handful of phone calls individually to David McNeil, for instance, at WeatherTech, just to make sure that no surprises, even though this would be a good surprise. Universal applause. Drivers, manufacturer representatives, sponsor executives, promoters, you name the category, everybody has weighed in. I've yet to have any sort of feedback other than extreme positive. What a step forward. And again, it's from one network to another, you can't complain either direction. But I believe the embrace of our type of motorsport within the NBC culture is perhaps at a higher level, and we're looking forward to working with them. Going to finish strong on Fox. We've had some really candid and open communication with our friends there. We want to go out with our head held high, and they've indicated the same in return. We're going to leave nothing on the table for the balance of our 18 season, while at the same time laying down some cable for next year.